Hey, it's been a while since I've done a voiceover video, huh? Well, to be honest, I was busy with many things and couldn't find time or inspiration to work on a video project. Today, I'm going to go over some news about myself, the release of my major ROM hack, and the future of this channel. So if you're interested in what I've done so far, stay tuned to hear news about my upcoming projects. So firstly, the largest bit of news. A few weeks ago, I released my major Super Mario 64 ROM hack, the Patchmaker's Workshop. This project was the culmination of years of learning the engine, building upon my additions, and creating a rich world full of unique objectives, with a brand new story to go along with it. If you haven't yet tried it out, you can find it on romhacking.com, with the link in the description. With that said, I have a little news about the 1.1 update for the game, which just released today. This update features a new epilogue that can be unlocked after gathering all 120 stars, which shows what some of the characters have been doing after the events of the game. Additionally, this update features a new Game Plus mode, along with a few new music tracks, and more. If you want a bit more of the story or wish to replay the game with a new spin, be sure to check it out. Along with this update, I'm also releasing a few more things related to Patchmaker. The hack's source code is now open source on GitHub. That link is also in the description. If you wanted to know more about how the hack was made, or maybe even discover some of the unused assets and dialogue, it's available for anyone to download and build for themselves. A small disclaimer though, if you happen to be learning more about coding for this game, some of my code is less than ideal. You'll hear this sentiment from just about anyone that open sources code, but don't take any of my examples as the best way to do things. Additionally, the Patchmaker's Workshop has its soundtrack released today as well. This soundtrack boasts an impressive 50 tracks from the game to listen to, composed by myself, Ornavelder, and Tori Draws Stuff. The soundtrack also features some unused or altered versions of tracks on top of that number. The links to that will also be in the description, so be sure to give it a listen. With these three things released today, I consider the Patchmaker's Workshop as a project concluded. There is the possibility I revisit the game for another update in the future, but for now I'm satisfied with where it's at. Thank you for all the support leading up to and past the hack's release, and I really do hope you've enjoyed this project. With that news aside, I'd like to do a brief intermission to discuss my feelings towards the Patchmaker's Workshop as a project. Originally beginning conception as early as 2021, I have to say that this project has been a big part of my life, and it followed me throughout all of college. With that, however, comes a few regrets and things I wish I did differently. About 60% of the development for this project happened in 2024 and 2025, despite being planned as early as 2022. This means there was a large disparity in the middle of the project, which led to ideas being changed and visions not quite lining up with how I'd originally intended them to. The story, while initially fully planned in 2023, was one thing I wish I could go back and rewrite some aspects of. A large drawback of working on a project alone for so long is that you begin to lose focus both in terms of design and writing. And as such, the story was not as coherent and polished as I originally wanted it to be. Ultimately, I'm happy with the story I told, but it might be a while before I tackle a narrative as dense and driven as the one in Patchmaker again. I also wish I had tackled the project with more engine knowledge initially. A lot of code had to be rewritten, and I spent countless hours debugging the most asinine issues because of my lack of understanding of what I was doing. Now, I don't think I would have learned as much as I did without making this project, but if I ever do something akin to this again, it would be a better idea to work my way up with smaller projects. Overall though, I couldn't be happier that I made it to the finish line with this project, something that not many major ROM hacks or even video games in general accomplish. So, with that out of the way, what's next from me? Will I be starting another major Mario 64 ROM hack? Well, the short answer is no. I have no plans for a sequel to Patchmaker or another large Mario 64 project in general. I'd say I'm happy with everything I accomplished over my ROM hacking career, and I've done just about everything I wanted to with the game. I'm sorry if anyone was excited over the prospects of another major hack from me, but I'd like to move on to other things. Mario 64 content as a whole for me isn't exactly off the table yet, but right now I have no plans for it. As some of you may know, I had a series called Hacklets for a brief period of time where the viewers could suggest changes to Mario 64 each episode. While it was fun making those videos, ultimately the experiment didn't perform too well on the platform. And over time the ideas grew harder to implement while still making interesting content off of it, so I've shelved Hacklets for now. Some of you may also know about a few Mario 64 animations I recently posted. Those were more for fun's sake, and I also have no plans to make any more of those right now. The last major facet of what I posted on my channel was miscellaneous competition hack videos, which were also very fun to create. But again, with less of my time being spent on Mario 64 as of late, I don't know how many competitions I'll be entering. I know this section seems like kind of a downer, but I promise I won't suddenly disappear and not post for a while, even though that's kind of what I did in the last year during the Patchmaker grind period. But from now on though, my channel might have less of a focus on Mario 64 content. So then, if I'm not going to be working much on ROM hacks anymore, what will I be making? Well, it's kind of hard to answer that question. I still don't really know myself what the future of this channel will be. It probably won't be a huge change given that this channel never really established a consistent viewer base, aside from the awesome people watching right now. For the really OG people, you'll remember when my channel was full of meme videos and shitposts I made 8 years ago, which is where most of my ghost subscriber count comes from. Rest assured, I won't be deleting my Mario 64 content like those older videos, but my life right now is changing a lot. I recently graduated college, and I am currently searching for a job! That stuff isn't really relevant to this channel. For the near future, I plan to start posting about an indie game I've had a part in working on for a few months called Croakspire. It's an honest-to-goodness Metroidvania about a frog invading an abode and using his tongue to attack enemies. While it's still in development and somewhat small in scope, I am proud of the work we've done so far on it, and hope to share more news with you in the future. That being said, if I do find myself working on another large project in the future, it will likely be an indie game made in Godot. In that case, I may make videos about game development, or perhaps some development log for that game. Pretty much anything to create interesting videos to watch. As some may know, this channel is monetized, but I disabled monetization on most of my recent videos because frankly, I don't feel like the videos have been interesting enough to watch ads for. Over the past year, I haven't done a great job of maintaining this channel, and boy has it shown in my analytics. But with the ambiguity of my future at the moment, hopefully I can return to this channel more frequently. Maybe I'll finally have branding that isn't just Shrek Wazowski, who knows. Low-key though, I've tried designing anything else countless times and can't come up with anything, so Shrek Wazowski stays for now. If anyone is a frequent watcher though, feel free to let me know what you enjoy about my content. It could definitely help shape the future of my channel, especially with the unknowingness of what I'll be doing. Well, that about sums up the news I have. I'll keep you all updated on my future plans, but for now, I hope you'll go enjoy the stuff I released today. I'm gonna keep using my spare time to learn different hobbies, like advanced Blender modeling and more Godot stuff, but I'll be thinking of what I want this channel to be in the meantime, and hopefully come back with some fresh new ideas. Thank you for watching, and until then...